Two soldiers were digging trenches when they suddenly discovered a human skull. They were terrified. Since parts of the skeletal remains were deeply buried underground, in-depth examination at the site was impossible. The forensic examiner had to pack up all the bones and transport them back to the laboratory. At that moment, Camille was examining the body when a swarm of spiders suddenly crawled out from the crevices, startling her badly. Soon, Hodgins informed everyone that these were Phonutria spiders. This species doesn't inhabit areas near corpses, indicating the deceased had been dumped at this location. The female agent noticed the deceased had tendinitis in the elbow and a hook-shaped ulna, suggesting the victim had been subjected to forceful twisting and repeated dragging, a common occupational hazard for dentists. An intern discovered a traumatic injury on the sternum, speculating this might be the cause of death. The agent confirmed the deceased's identity through dental records. Learning his name was David, Booth and his partner then headed to David's residence. Upon arrival, they found the front door wide open. The agent drew his weapon to investigate. A man on the sofa jumped up startled, raising his hands. Upon questioning, they learned David was gay. The neighbor thought he and his boyfriend had moved out together, which was why he had come over. Regarding David's death, the neighbor suggested the agents investigate David's ex-boyfriend, as they had a fierce argument when they broke up. That evening, the agents located the ex-boyfriend, who said he and David had been separated for a year and had long moved on from the relationship, making it impossible for him to have killed David. However, the female agent discovered an arrowhead in a tree. The ex-boyfriend's bow was still in his car. This type of arrowhead could certainly have caused David's sternal trauma. Combined with the ex-boyfriend's profession as a hunter and his past relationship with David, he was a prime suspect. But after careful examination, the intern found that the sternal trauma wasn't actually fatal. Moreover, the arrowhead wasn't the weapon that caused the sternal injury. A high-velocity arrow would not only penetrate the sternum and heart, but would also sever the spinal column. However, the sternal trauma was extremely shallow. Therefore, the ex-boyfriend could be temporarily ruled out as a suspect. Soon after, the bones were completely cleaned. The forensic examiner discovered fractures in the frontal and glabellar regions, determining that this cranial trauma was the cause of death. Combined with shoulder tendinitis, fractured ribs, and knee trauma, Hodgins realized these were all common injuries for football players. So the agents went to investigate the team. They found David's coach and asked if David had any disputes with anyone. The coach said David got along well with everyone there and noticed nothing unusual. Meanwhile, the forensic examiner discovered a gap in the ankle bone. The weapon that caused this ankle fracture would have severed the posterior tibial artery. A tear in the tibial artery would cause massive hemorrhaging. This confirmed David's actual cause of death was arterial bleeding. Hodgins detected tungsten carbide in the ankle wound, a substance commonly used as coating for various tools, including dental instruments. This discovery made the assistant a prime suspect. The agents located the assistant, suspecting she had sought revenge after being fired and had fabricated an alibi with her husband to avoid guilt. She refused to cooperate with the investigation. At that moment, the female agent noticed something peculiar about the floor tiles at the entrance. They were identical to those at David's front door. The assistant explained they were installed by the same contractor, who happened to be David's former neighbor. On the night David disappeared, the neighbor was laying pavement here. By the time the couple returned from their outing, the neighbor had completed the work.